Can you hear me?
Yep. Thanks, Kevin.
Ready to go? Rebecca?
Almost. Just waiting for the internet.
Oh, I've never told enough people what.
Okay, 1 second.
Yeah, even better.
There we go.
All right, call the meeting to order. It's say 6 p.m. Excused absence. We have Anna, Mike, and Paulo. Motion. Steve, Aaron, any opposed? Motion is passed. Land recognition has already been done. And hasn't changed. Any conflict of interest with the business of the fifth? Hearing none. Motion to approve the agenda. Lisa? Kevin? Any opposed to the motion? It is approved. There are no delegations. Chair's report is verbal only because I'm trying to play catch up on a whole bunch of things. Again, I want to recognize Matthew and his team. He's got a complete transition. He's still trying to make the strategic plan forward, deal with all the daily operational issues, all of our requests. So I want to recognize that again. Friends, Jamie and I were at their AGM about 2 weeks ago. Really sense that for that. And thank you for doing that. Elections, Caitlin was trying to get it on candidates. But this whole election is pretty diplomatic. I tried to construct it in a certain way to full participation by voters. So she wasn't able to make that happen here. She had one candidate respond, I believe. One candidate respond. So I'll share with you that with our teachers, Ontario, we were able to help candidates be three candidates. The other two candidates climbed up some of the region and PC candidates by design. So, other than that, we've got good press coverage and it's set to pass. Appreciate our number. We'll see. We had it was about 50, 60 people. Yeah, the Greenberg. So, just with this local, so it's a super conference, right? Local had its AGM while I was there, and so, well, reports. So, part of me thinks there are too many items, too many divisions. Yeah, this one is strictly for sport super conference. I went to a number of presentations, Canadian Federation of Libraries, Intellectual Freedom, Indigenous chats, the Gala Awards, Library Roads, very interesting presentation on municipal councils, library boards, and books for building bridges, and then not boot camp, session on leadership, Matthew's his reports. There was a session on MOUs. So takeaway. I don't think we go down this road this time. There are MOUs in place in some of the libraries in Ontario, but they had a pretty good reason for that. I think it could cause us all of this point. So, well, it's not time to get that formal arrangement. So. It's such that I just don't think it's necessary at this time. I think our relationship with the city council sound. They give us a lot of leeway out of our business. Recognize that leadership of this board is efficient job, so they provide us a lot of support that allow us to be. So there was also Matthew gave his presentation on safety issues. Panel. Very well.
My section was very impressive.
You know, it's factual. Wasn't a pretty picture, but I think the number most 99% of the people in the room thought recognize that common issue that we're all dealing with. We might say more to that later. And then the final question. So pretty busy time. Yeah. It's fun. That's the end of my report. You want to ask me a question?
Do I want to know that? But not I do.
Okay. I have questions. You want to talk about any of those things? You know, you just need. That's it. Number 6, consent agenda. Anyone need anything pulled or have any questions for any consent? Means that you've all looked at your package. It's good. So that means we can go right to the motion to approve the consent agenda and motions. And Aaron, Lisa, any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is approved. Number 7, there are no items removed. Number 8, business arising.
Limits are.
Oh, okay, there aren't. Sorry, yeah, so there's nothing. Number 9, mold issues.
Our woes never end with this building. I mean, it's over 50 years old and it's showing in some places. So we're very fortunate to have finished our asbestos issue. But some new issues pop up here and there. We have recently replaced the humidifier in the mechanical room, and then the release of the pipes which cause moisture to rise to the ceiling. Something will go there. So we remediated that, and we're getting the pipes fixed so that. Also, the sink over here has got some issues, so we're going to be closing that off. There may be something underneath the laminate right to sink. So just keep that in mind. And
Well, just looking at this probably.
yeah. Yeah.
Student.
So we need to replace probably the in this room. That's going to be expensive. We do get an annual donation from the Elliott Fund for programs, and primarily that's going to supplement our programming budgets. But if there is a bit of money left over towards that, we use that program. And we're supposed to replace the branch up front this summer, but we maybe have to redirect those funds to in here instead. So it's a higher priority.
So it's in the report here, it says that some library programming possibly be affected. That's only if they do the same,
Only if-
otherwise sections.
Yeah, for example, we have a big fossil program where they have to bring the water.
Right, so they're using this. Okay.
It'll have an impact on some spots probably, and then somebody wanted to sink, as part of their rental, because if it's a party with a fire one, we're gonna have to rewrite it. If they don't need a sink for their party or what they're doing, they're still welcome. So that's it for those issues. For the civic literacy program, Zane's already touched on this. We've had a very good trying to do anything like all read, which we typically use for an alignment period. So the library has switched gears, and we're now asking each candidate to respond to a question. So Keelan did inform me she's only got one response. So
There's,
I know.
that's really, disappointing.
Yeah.
For candidates not to participate.
You can, first certificate, start.
They have another signs.
And
Yeah.
otherwise, there'll be a new name.
I don't want to know.
I think he's more local.
Here we really made. Little candidates.
Says local justice.
Yeah. I know. Anyhow, that's a little spot.
The little candidate was very well.
Yeah.
Actually, I was very impressed.
But. That is
Very green,
good.
very, new. Oh. But spoke well read.
So we try to be as balanced and fair and non-partisan as possible.
Yeah.
And so we give each candidate an same opportunity, whether or not they choose to take us up on that opportunity, story. Just in addition to that, given that we also have Elections Ontario liaison that's been at the library as well, public evaluation process. So that also has sources. So she can meet with voters, they're talking about registration. That's the upstairs of the, that's something. And then finally, for information items, I shared this online, but we also asked for in the package is, kind of the big letter. Just giving you an update of what's happening. Library. But we have occasionally been in this newsletter, so we have some future once in a while, but it's good to know what's going on. For me, who's in what library sometimes, we change directly.
No, part of the reason I asked, I think, but there's so many, again, there's so many acronyms, but still. I feel embarrassed that you do this online. Exactly. Clear acronym. That's it. I don't get it. Actually, I said that. It's library. As a board chair, I never hear.
Okay. It's that.
Yeah, we don't see the index of them.
OLS.
And then well, that's,
EFL.
we should probably develop, some kind of master list stuff.
Yeah.
Had a brief description of what they want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, like, so. Hey. Anyway. That's a few. Any questions from Matthew on these reports? Hearing none. Okay, motion to move on to board development. None. New policies, none. Strategic plan update, already done. Oh Valley Super Conference Matters report.
I haven't done this in the past, your board's never done this. This year I thought I would kind of let you know kind of what my activities were in conference, so that you know that. You can get professional development. And I'm sure the staff will also be looking at this package as well, so it's information for them too. To see what kind of topics I'm kind of attending and interested in for our library. There was a lot of really great sessions. There's a couple that I wanted to attend to as well, but there's conflicts with other sessions. You can't necessarily get to everything. Some of them were staff focused and like creating a change for the culture at the library. Sometimes need a little bit of guidance on that. I got a lot out of the enhancing the experience remodeling and revitalizing the onboarding processes. Some onboarding new employees has been something that we've worked on during the process of, and I am going to borrow heavily from some of the documents that they shared at that particular session. So I just want to say that there are some takeaways that are concrete that I can go and make a change right away. Others are more philosophical in nature. Like the ever-changing landscape of being CEO, what keeps us going and what keeps us up at night. I've got my nightmares. A really great session was hitting the limit trauma for workers. And like Mark was a really dynamic speaker, and he was able to handle such a tough topic about trauma that staff are experiencing in libraries. They do so a way that was accessible without triggering in a way. I would listen to another session that he puts on. Cultivating a safe and welcome library space addressed the step system. Hopefully a little bit more out of that, but if we have something that's in here, but it's really a infancy stage, this new system that comes running, the only stuff October, November. So they don't even have years with it to talk about whether or not something is effective. It's interesting. They kind of have like a scale of where we are. They're not at like a calm stage since they first launched it. Not severe, but unless there's a major incident, but stuff. Then embracing disability, there's some things out of that as well. And then the library board just camp. That was interesting as well. The curse of library leadership, she was really there. And I found the memorandum of understanding session really interesting. I agree with a lot of what he said about that. And then at the boot camp, I was also asked to present back in the fall. And so I did present, to the OLBA, with panel. My first, I went first and I basically talked about the problems that libraries are experiencing, the mental health crisis, opioid crisis. And then, I went into some incidents that we have here at the library, it's conflicts at unions, because I was the only one of three on the panel that had a meeting next library. And then, some of the things that we've kind of done to mitigate risks at the library, and how we got security. It's interesting because Aurelia was one of the co-presenters, and Melissa, she was talking how they went to their council and said, we'd like to have security and we'd like to have social. Not the exact same thing that we did. We want security and want social. They got a social worker, but we're denied security. We got security, but we're denied social.
Yeah.
And so, everybody in the audience were able to hear the different perspectives of what it's like to get the security, and also what it's like to not get the security, but get the social work, the benefits of the social work, as opposed to what the benefits of security. See, and then, the third, library, was the risk mitigation and risk assessments, like evaluating what's happening with the.
How was the social worker? Curious.
They had a really fun.
Yeah, I was wondering if any about the folks can share.
Possibly, I could ask the co-presenter.
Would also be good to, see what they've done and maybe, we ask for that again. Yes. Information on how it's working somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, it would be
Do they
nice.
still have, is it a trial thing?
It's still a trial thing,
But it's still.
but, I believe that they were looking for a social worker somewhere in the community, and they ended up putting them on staff. They, just because of the issues that. Yeah, it was a good presentation.
Yeah, it's really beneficial. I don't find that. But said, yeah, be considered as. I agree. But I want to do.
Yeah.
Will they share the job description about social worker with
It
you?
would.
I'd be curious to know, to learn from their experience, but also to know how that social worker interacts with the city in terms of social services. Like how much of the linkage is there between that, because I think that might be part of the next proposal that, you want this expertise, but you also want that linkage with the city's services, with what the city's already doing.
Yeah, and
So you don't need to reinvent that those.
my impression was this, the social worker model is also a key thing
Yeah.
to all the other services.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
That should be a main or that would be part of our goals.
Yeah.
So that this person would connect you with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what you need.
Yeah.
So does that person have to be a library staff member? Could we form a partnership with, a agency and provide space?
I think that's kind of what, council suggested. That there are already lots of social workers. And maybe we should try, maybe.
Well, I've heard some libraries that give office space to that individual, so they're not a library employee, but
They're there. I think anything is.
And there is some, that, like I'm guessing, I don't have this knowledge, but with that resource center up the street across from St. Andrews, that there must be somebody there who's talking that such.
They do have people, I don't know if it's a full-time position that's there, they also have a position that is there
Right.
as well. And people from different agencies, I think they rotate.
Yeah, it'd be like the one that was on Wall Street. Where you mentioned. And they seem to be real well connected with legal aid and the condition and ultimately, you know, people typing and everything. Interesting to follow that.
So her session is a bit more obvious.
A lot of my thing for you do it textbook what you need to do in a nice environment. You're into health and safety. Are you prepared for the Ministry of Labor? And like, I'm serious, it was really well done. And I said 10 years ago, schools did this. And you become much more conscious, better trained, and they put all those pieces in place. But the libraries is still fairly new, and you picked it up. And so it was a good president.
It interests me that other libraries are doing that. I just assumed that I.
There's a lot of money.
Pros and cons.
And there were a few people, but one person is disgruntled. It's from, sure, I think he had an agenda. But, generally, people thank me for it. And somebody wrote me an email.
You can see your small in here.
What's that?
It is your small.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And then that is an action item on our street plan. So there you go.
Yeah. Congratulations.
So I'm coming on super conference. If you haven't been, I've done the conferences. And every year I learn something in terms of education, in terms of agriculture, in terms of libraries. It covers a whole spectrum. I don't know. Different sessions. There's something there. You know, how to do the library, or your education, or a lot of all of this. No, just on and on. It's worth it. On Saturdays for members and
Yeah, and if you, and to do recognize a lot of you guys work full time stuff that you can't go for most of the conference, but there is still the boot camp which they hold on Saturday. So you can always fly in on Friday to boot camp.
I know you're trying to save library money for this is value. And outside this venue, I tell people in other organizations, it's one of the best conferences that I've been in all my years of education. This is through West Conference. You can squeeze some in.
That's the mission to going on there's some stuff.
You can't believe what's out there. It's like,
Yeah, and I have that much of the Shingo. And I feel like
I got my stuff.
Where was it?
Convention center.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and fix the whole place.
Yeah.
And part of the stuff. And there's the different acronyms that. So that's all. So they said. It's different. So, well, that's a good job. Now let's see, all of groups represented someplace.
the keynote speaking. To this, the guest speakers. This. It is a great. I haven't done it in the past. I don't want to. These are the kind of activities. At the conference, so that you know that it is a valuable use of.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, I only had to find it in once.
You performed this before? Sessions, maybe not this much.
I apologize for not having.
So,
So, any questions? Stuff. Anyone have? It's a delicate subject, so.
No, well, not really, actually, the reason I brought it up the last time was the subject of the Ontario Library Service Board Assembly slide package, which I'm 99% I shared with all of you, when I got it. And the reason that I have a concern is that we don't have a bylaw that establishes this. And the Public Library Act doesn't require one, but it also isn't, it says that you may have a city bylaw, but I think if you're operating in the absence of the city bylaw and you don't have an MOU, there's a huge vulnerability there. And I think this is the risk for the board. And you may be in a good spot with the city at this moment, but 10 years ago, we did not. And when I joined this board, you wouldn't believe it was in that building across the parking lot. When I was appointed to this board in midterm, this is a golden opportunity to do either a bylaw or an MOU, and I would do one. Because 10 years from now, if you don't do it, you're going to regret it. And I feel very strongly about this.
So are you suggesting that we have a bylaw in place if
I'd like
if
to
we
start
want
a bylaw.
to?
I have copies of bylaws from Sudbury and the Bay. And
Right, but
well, six other places.
Didn't have any place, right? If it's more ever go into an MOU situation or is the bylaw just give us the ability to?
Well, the bylaw establishes you what establishes these courts. You don't know 5 years ago now from now that that's going to be the case.
So if I can understand, bylaws, but
I can
in
give you
terms,
example.
I think,
Would you like to, I could, if you want to refer this to policy committee, I can share with that committee some sample bylaws. And we can continue. Because I think if you don't do it, it's a mistake, it's a serious mistake.
I think Jamie's right on the first bylaw, because, the library predates this.
okay,
Like,
So that-
there used to be a township. Township. Bylaw.
I don't know what it really is, but I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah, I was, it's funny, it's in the listserv too, a discussion about this. And, one library was kept giving caution to how, they went to get an MOU and with the page. Which is, they were hoping for a guiding document. This is what we are, and this was a definitive, this is what our relationship is. And it's not quite what they were looking for. And, the city, like, they went with this proposed language, the city just slashed it and came up with their own. And, there was at least one councilman in particular who was like, what are all these services that we're talking to the library? And so they were at a risk of losing a lot of services that they weren't currently paying for because their city HR charged them for calls, or they wouldn't have to pay for having city HR help negotiations.
we do a lot of this.
So
And we started buying, like, I'm not posted about the bylaws, sounds interesting. But the MOUs, but a lot of discussions that city councilors see differently than we do, and what became met service, fee service,
Yeah, but then,
or
they're
not getting the service.
we be coming to them with something. Fees and charges, so it's a self-defeating exercise, they can start charging.
So they can give us the supplemental request. The other thing is some departments may be looking offload the library too, because they're overburdened with the city.
Yeah, but this is where we focus on the fact that we're a community, founded or cultural partner, and we're bringing a lot to the table, especially on Wednesday nights.
I'm not necessarily opposed to that, either. It's just I just want everybody to recognize there are risks.
And in-
to-
In my history in healthcare, which, you know, is decades old and probably not relevant, but we used to call something like this a service level agreement.
Yeah.
And now it's being called an MOU, but it's the same idea, but I think the bylaw would be started. It makes me nervous that we don't have either.
Police department on file.
I'm sure. I don't know exactly what it is. I'd be surprised.
Yeah. The other issue right now is nothing to start touching.
Oh, no, I know, but if
Yeah.
I can bring it back to policy, maybe, and I can provide some sample bylaw for other municipalities.
I think we also need to do a little bit of research to make sure there is a bylaw. I think we've done some work already.
No, there isn't. There's the short.
Why are they doing this?
Public libraries,
Okay,
Yeah, but that's not enough of a reason. Well,
but they could also be decided online.
exactly.
The public libraries act guides you if you have a library, it's do, but. I mean,
But
there's
yes,
lots-
that's a requirement in this one.
Whereas if you had a bylaw, you can say, oh, you will always have. one. We are so old.
This is where it would be nice to have a city council on the library board for exactly this reason. Which is another risk factor that I have against my house. Just thought I'd mention it again.
I do worry, though, if we open up the discussion for how to use. Start with support. Accounting, we won't, because we already paid for
yeah, it gets dicey, like I said, well, how about we just do this for now, let's, refer the bylaw discussion to policy. It sounds like
That's
where you
what
want to go,
we're talking
right?
about.
Sure.
Okay, so
Motion to refer the discussion of, bylaws to policy.
yes,
Further, yeah,
review, yeah.
you moving?
I'll move it.
Okay, second. Nobody.
Nobody seconded Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm just jabbing, but stuff.
Oh, my God.
Aaron second, and anybody opposed, anyone opposed? So. New business, cultural forum, was mentioned in the other meeting. So. Next regular meeting is March 31st, isn't it?
Yeah, we snacks at the cultural forum.
Is that-
They're looking at, that's why you had to pre-register, because they wanted to know that we're seeing things. And this is why I'm on the historic sites where we can get a kitchen and awesome.
All right, so anyway, if you want to go home, we'll see you Wednesday. Steve. Second, Aaron. And any opposed?